Good to come your way once again as we enjoy this wonderful journey in additional mathematics. My name is Nana Yawedu. You can call me Sir Nana. Remember to share, like, comment when you have any problem and you want to share any idea. And remember to click on the notification bell. And don't forget to subscribe for my YouTube channel so that you can get every video on time. In our previous lesson, we have looked at an example on how we can solve or find the identity element of a binary operation. And in this lesson, we are going to continue on that journey whilst we consider another example on binary operation. Let's consider the example. Remember that it's important that we practice at all times so that we'll be able to be abreast with how we can solve these questions on binary operation. Don't relent on practicing. So the question says that a binary operation, this time the sign is different. So remember that it's a circle with a cross in it. Is defined on a set of real numbers r by x operation y is equal to x plus y all over xy. We have to find the identity element under the operation, and the operation is there. Now let's look at how we can solve this question. So the question gives us a binary operation and it is on x. This time the operation symbol is here, operation y, which is equal to s plus y all over xy. Now for us to be able to solve, you must write the general form. So we say that let E be the identity element, right? So even though we all know that the identity element is represented by E, we need to be able to say that let E be the identity element, right? Such that we are going to use our x, right? So we have x operation E to be equal to x. So this time we can pick any one of the sides. We are allowed to do that. Or we can also say that y operation E is equal to y. So it's not that always you must use x. Sometimes you can also use y. So fine, in this example, let's use the y. So we can say that y operation E is equal to y. Now what this implies is that wherever we see our x, we have to replace it with our y in the operation here. And wherever we see our y, we'll now replace it with our E in the operation here. So that gives us y operation E to be equal to y plus E all over ye. Now we know that now this y plus E over ye can replace the x operation y or y operation E, which is in the question here, right? So we can say that y plus E all over ye will be equal to y. Now once we get here, all we have to do is to ensure that we simplify and we make E our subject. So we can say let this be over 1, and then we can have our y plus E, all this multiplied by 1, right? As we cross multiply, will be equal to y multiplied by ye, right? So we have y plus E to be equal to y squared. Y multiplied by y gives us y squared, so y squared E, right? So group like terms, we'll send all the E to one side. So we have E, when we move this here, becomes minus y squared E is equal to, this becomes negative y, right? So we can factorize our E out. So when we factorize our E out, we have E to be equal to 1 minus y squared is equal to negative y. Then now we can divide both sides by 1 minus y squared, this side by 1 minus y squared. So it means that our E, which represents our identity element, will be equal to minus y all over 1 minus y squared. So therefore we can say that our identity element E will be equal to minus y all over 1 minus y squared, right? So this is our conclusion. Now remember that in elective maths, we are interested in the process. So all this process would give you some marks, right? So in this lesson, we have basically considered another example on the identity element. In our next lesson, we'll be considering how we can solve an identity element when we are given it in a table form. Remember to share, subscribe, and comment on my YouTube channel, and then ensure that you press on the notification bell. See you in the next lesson.